I'm going to show you first in the catalog what I'm using today. I am going to use this beautiful Brightly Gleaming Specialty Designer Series paper. And if you'll notice, it's a returning fave, so you'll probably recognize it from last year's holiday catalog if you were around back then. And it's got gorgeous copper accents on one side of each of the papers, and then the other side is more of a matte finish. It is, yeah, it's stunning in person. We're actually going to use this pretty peacock design right here for our card today. And then the second thing that I've been using a ton is the For Unto Us stamp set, and it's all sentiments and words to use on your Christmas cards and projects. And I'm going to use Glory to the Newborn King today. And then Banner Year Bundle. I know I've told this story a million times, but I was just going to buy the punch, the Banner Pick-a-Punch. And then I saw the price difference was only $13 between just the punch and buying the bundle together, stamp set and punch. So I'm like, $13. I may as well get the stamp set. And I've had fun playing with that too, so I'm glad I did. What I tend to do is just get like the stamp set and not the dies, or just get the dies and not the stamp set, or just get the punch and not the stamp set. And then later on I go, well, duh, I should have bought the stamp set too, or whatever. And then I lost out on the 10%. So just go for it right away, right? All right, so here's what we've got to work with today. And we're going to start with my thick Very Vanilla cardstock. And I'm telling you, there's a huge difference. If you're not a believer yet in the thick cardstock for your card base, I'm telling you, it does make a huge difference. And then when I go to open a store-bought card, and then I go to open one of our cards, I feel like it compares and maybe is even just a tad bit heavier than those store-bought cards. I suppose it depends how much you paid for that card. But if you don't use the thick, it's just a little thinner and floppier, if you know what I mean. All right, then I'm actually going to turn this card so it opens sideways. Kind of unique. Hi, Dan. Glad you made it here today. I have cut this piece of Pretty Peacock cardstock at 3 1/4 by 5. And then I cut this piece of copper foil paper at 3 3/8 by 5 1/8. At least I think I did. And if you notice, I cut out the middle. And I wasn't super careful to get everything straight. But the reason I did that is because sometimes when I go to cut out little sprigs or pieces that I need for a project in a copper or a gold or whatever it might be, all I need is a little piece like this. And if I'm going to layer the peacock onto the copper, I don't need that whole inside. So if I just cut that out, then I can use that on a project later. And let's face it, it's expensive enough that we need to use it in the best way that we can. So now when I put adhesive on, instead of putting adhesive on the peacock and trying to guess where that adhesive is going to go, I'm going to just put my adhesive around the opening. And I used a lot. I probably didn't need quite so much, but that's okay. It won't go anywhere now. Then we're going to just go ahead and adhere that onto our card right away. Some of you who have been around a long time may remember back in the day, this foil paper that we used to have had a shiny backing. And some of our glimmer paper had a shiny backing. It was really hard to get adhesive on. Well, no more. They have listened to our cries and have made it much easier to put adhesive on, not so shiny on the back. So you'll notice I have a little bit bigger of a border on top and bottom, and then shorter borders on the sides. And then what I'm going to do is just take a strip of the DSP, and I can't remember how big, I think 1.5 inches. Yes, I cut the strips 1.5 inches. And then here's the technique-y part. I'm going to take my tailored tag punch, and I'm going to slide that into the end of my DSP. And then I'm going to kind of center it or do the best I can to center it. And then you'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. I'm just making my hexagon. All right, so I have done that 3 times. Now, I was struggling a little bit. Earlier, I'm like, they don't sit right. They're all kittywampus and cockeyed. And then I realized once you get it the right way, oh yeah, okay, so it does sit right. I was trying to figure out if I put it in the punch all funny or what I did, but it really works. So do you sometimes come to these Facebook Lives and think about how much I ramble? I hope what I say is meaningful. I try not to typically watch myself back. It's annoying, as you can probably imagine. If you were doing video and going back to watch yourself, it's not super fun. When I do my YouTube videos, I have to, because I edit them, and so I have to go back and watch, and it's a struggle some days. Thanks for understanding. Okay, so I did the outer 2 first so that I could kind of get things lined up. And if you're smart, which I wasn't in this case because I was talking, don't push down so much until it's where you want them. Okay, so I've got my hexagons there, which is really pretty, don't you think? And then we're going to take the strip, which is, okay, I tried 3/4. It was too thick because then it covered too much of my hexagons. I tried 1/2, which was too thin because my stamp didn't fit on it. And then I settled on 3/8. So if you're not into 8ths, I am so sorry. That's just the way it goes today. Glory to the Newborn King in Pretty Peacock ink. I hope you can see that. I know it's kind of low. And I probably should have punched first, but I didn't. So Glory to the Newborn King in Pretty Peacock right there. And then I'm going to take that lovely Banners Pick-a-Punch, and I want to use this side of the banner punch. And now keep in mind, this is not the right size to go in this punch. This punch is designed for 1/2, 3/4, and 1, and I am neither. I am at 3/8. So I just want to try to space it evenly on either side. So you can use it with different sizes. It's just not as easy. You know, it doesn't just slide into the tray like we like it to. So you just have to be a little bit more careful, but it can be done. So there we go. So we've got our little banner. Love this punch, by the way. Love. Okay, then we're going to take our pearls and a Pretty Peacock Stampin' Blend. And the cool thing about Stampin' Blends is it's an alcohol marker. And so when you color on something, and you know what, I'm already seeing, I want my dark one. When you color on your pearls, it's going to be permanent, kind of like a Sharpie would be. So I'm going to color my pearls in a Pretty Peacock so that it matches the rest of the card. Love that. I'm using the harder tip, and the one, I actually prefer to use the brush tip for this. And I think I'm going to switch because it's annoying. But just so you know, you have to be a little bit more careful because that brush tip can get eaten up a little bit. So you just have to be careful when you're using the brush tip. Obviously, I'm not very patient and get annoyed easily. But, okay. So now these are dry, and we're just going to add them as little accents to our strip to fill in space. Now, I debated on finding a longer sentiment, and I decided I really liked the look of just doing that. What do you think? I would love to hear your comments. I would love to see what you have to say about this, because, you know, I make things up sometimes, and it doesn't always work, but sometimes. I'm really happy with my decisions. Oh my gosh. I I have to tell you, I got a lot of sleep last night compared to what I've been. So I think I'm just a little on a sleep high today. Oh boy. For those of you who like my Stamp Together Saturday, I'm going to do it remotely on Saturday. So I will be posting those instructions later, and we may be in the outdoors. We'll see. But I am planning on doing it. Okay, so I've put 4 dimensionals on there because I don't like it when it sags, and it's a long strip, so I just want to make sure it's all covered. And then those are going to go right across. Oh my gosh, it turned out so cute. And you know what? I know some of you are going to love that there's no ribbon involved. I know some of you have trouble tying. So no ribbon on this one, just a lot of good fun. Yep, pretty pretty. All right, did I show you the designer series paper? I don't think I did, just in the catalog, right? So I'll just do that really quickly. Here's the one I used. I used this in my Christmas in July recently, and I will be posting that event actually later today too. And I think it's worth noting that Christmas in August will be coming up at the end of the month. But what's cool is I invite you to a Facebook group, and it's a special one just for people who paid for the class. And then I do a Facebook Live showing how to put the cards together. And then again, you can put them together at your own leisure. You'll have access to that Facebook group for a month so that you can get those put together. It's 15 cards for $25. And I ship you all the stuff if you live far away. And it is 3 designs, 5 of each. So you can kind of get on a roll and make them in bulk, which is nice. Look for that sign up later today. What did I say I was going to do today? That and one other thing. Oh, Stamp Together Saturday. Okay. See, when I promise things, I have to remember I promised. Otherwise, we're in trouble.